G'day everyone, welcome back to Adelshoven. As you can see, we're in May. It is a little damp this morning, and that's paid to. I'd planned an early start to get stuck into those couple of fertilizing contracts that we grabbed at the end of the last episode, but that's not to be. So I did get the fertilizer on the way back from the store, so we're all good to go. But I thought I'll take the opportunity to load up the produce that's been generated, and we'd run out of sunflower seeds, so I'm just popping those into our production here, so that should get that going again. I was not really sure what to do. Ideally, we've run out of grass to process in the silage fermenter. We've got just under 800 litres here. The sheep look happy enough. We've got some that are just about a couple of months off puberty, so they've got a couple of months to go. These are some young lambs, and oh, sorry, these are our mature ones, so they've just had some lambs, and these look like they're the lambs. So it's coming along, but it's sort of slowly building, and now the weather's better, wool production will kick up a little bit amongst the mature sheep, so they're in good shape. If we look at the prices, I've got a sneaking suspicion that wool at the spinnery, 1208, that's about as good as wool gets. So we certainly can't afford to purchase the spinnery or put our own down, but I think what that tells us is even though it's not very much wool, we should sell what we have and take the money for now, so we'll do that. You can put that on the truck also. I'll have a look at the weather in just a second. I think that's all we're going to be able to do with the produce for now. Let's turn you into there, I think. We can get the tractor all filled up and ready to go for when the weather breaks. If we have a look at the weather, so it's looking like it should clear pretty soon, so that's not so bad, and then it's going to be clear for the rest of the day, and then even going to get some sun later on, so that's not too bad. So let's put that fertilizer in so we're all set to go. It would help if I moved the ute first. Getting way too excited there. We'll just back out, because we almost dried the tank completely last time, if you remember. that one. So that's that all set and ready to go, and the fields we need to work on just over the other side of the road there, so we can leave this all set up ready to go. Now, the only other thing we can do, we really need a field. That's the only way we're going to break out of this grind. So we've got these two contracts, which are good for another 6,000, 6,500. So they shouldn't take us too long. I've been holding off doing it, but I think there's $10,000 worth of baling here that we probably should tackle. So there's a hay contract, a silage contract, a silage contract, and a hay contract. Now, what's interesting about these, I wonder? 32, 33, 34, and 40. So if we have a look at the map, 33, 34. Oh, 32 is not far from us, up here in the top. 33 and 34 are at the bottom. And 40 is this little tiny strip up in the middle of the olives. So I kind of split the equipment, particularly as it's, I don't remember now, 32 and 30, 33 and 34. One's baling and one's tedding. So, oh no, 33 and 34 are both silage, and that makes it a bit easier. So these are both silage and these are both hay. Now my inclination then, what to do? I think whatever happens, we want to clear these fertilizing first. Yeah, and see, that's because it's such a tiny field, the cost of borrowing the equipment here is only $44. So I'm inclined to borrow that. We would need to borrow the equipment for a silage contract, but we can look at that once we've kind of assessed how we go with the tedding, and the deliveries are all over the road to the animal dealer. So the delivery side of it's all very convenient, and the opportunity that presents is if we just make the minimum number of bales to progress, we can drop the rest of the cut grass in to fill up our sheep and drop it into our own fermenting silo. We don't really need to make all the bales. So let's and while we've been looking at all of that, it's stopped raining. So let's duck over here, because this is field 27, and we can knock out this field really quickly. And in fact, while we're doing this, we could almost put a worker on here and go and relocate the equipment from the shop up to that baling contract. So let's start this guy off. In fact, the field's not really big enough to warrant putting a worker on it. I'll see you all in a minute when I've finished this contract. Back here on field 22, they're going quite nicely. It's not very large, so we just an up and back strip should enable us to finish this quite neatly. There's a very odd patch in the field next door. I've got no idea what happened there. Looks like the owner wanted to widen the patch on the corner. Just swing around here, this might be the easiest. It's like we need that width. Hopefully that little patch won't need me to go back. We're coming up on 80%, so this job will be done in a flash. And then we can duck over to the shop. And I'm thinking, because we're I'd probably think about returning the sprayer, because it was just leased and our fields are done. Or our field is done, but I suppose if we manage to generate enough cash to get another field, we might still want to put some fertilizer on that. So perhaps we'll just hang on to it for a minute, but in the next couple of months it is probably worth trading it out and hoping that as we move forward something better comes up in the shop. So let's just hold on that activity, actually. Yeah, can we get through there to pop the sprayer away? Left the truck running again. No, not we. I left the truck running again, didn't I? So let's take the tank off. And take the sprayer off. Slide you in there. There we go. That's good. So let's head over to the shop. And get this equipment up to the field that we need to mow. Having two tractors will probably be an advantage, so... Wow, that looks like a big mower for that little field. That could be interesting. Now, what have we got here? We've got Tedder. So let's take the Tedder. And the windrower on our tractor. Pop the mower on his tractor. Okay. What we might do is put one of those bale units on the front. Certainly off this first field, I don't think we're going to get all that many bales, so it makes sense to have a way of moving them fairly easily. But at first glance, this equipment looks somewhat too large. What we should do before we leave the shop here is finish those contracts that we had. So we can collect on field 22, we can collect on field 27. We want to do the field 32 contract because we've got all the baling equipment. And I think we want to accept, what's the equipment on field 33? Yeah, all the 34. They're very similar. It's pretty similar equipment. So I think we'll borrow the items on field 33 also. Now, while we're here, we can use a PC mod to help us get up to the field. So if you haven't used it before, it's called Follow Me. And if I hit right control, hold down right control and the F key, it asks me if I want to follow the vehicle in front there, and it sets the distance behind by default to be 25, which it 25 meters, which it shows in the bottom of the screen. So now if I get out, it's assigned a worker. I can jump in my vehicle, and I've got a worker now that when I head off is going to follow me up the road in the line that I take 25 meters behind me. Now there's additional functions. I could get that worker to follow at an offset on either side, right or left. If I was, for instance, doing some field work and I wanted them to drive a trailer or something like that. Similarly, I could get them to sit further back if I had a bigger trailer on. We could also create a convoy, but that might be a task for another day. So it's quite useful. And as you can see on the mini map, they're just happily following me up the road. And all I have to remember is that I have a vehicle following me and that it might have an implement that it's towing that needs a wider corner than I'm taking. So just any turns I make to make them as wide as I can to help with the navigation. So that's the Follow Me mod for PC. Unfortunately, it's not available on console because it's scripting mod. So we're heading up to the top of the map there. Let's see how we go. I've turned traffic off, so we don't have to worry about oncoming traffic. I can see that makes the corner fine. I think the way into this field is up this farm road here. Still got our shadow back there. And one of the fields we've got to cut is right here. The other one, I think we can just cut round here. Because it's in the back of this olive grove. Might just zip straight up here. Nicely laid out, this olive grove. I wonder if as our finances improve, whether we should buy some olives, given that we've got the production to sort of complement our sunflowers. The neat thing about the way this has been laid out is that the fields of olives are A, pre-planted, and B, of different sizes, so you can get in to a smaller, oops, didn't do that very well. And so this is where our follow me may have a bit of a problem. Don't know how it's managed to get itself stuck on there, but we will worry about that in a minute. We'll get rid of our worker here because our worker's got the mower on. Probably if I bump that with the tractor, that will move that out so we can move it along. There we go. So field 40 is this tiny little grass strip here. So let's go back and at least get it mowed. We're going to do one up and back, do we? Oops. Select the correct piece of equipment. So it wants to offset to the right. Can I? Any commands? We can probably live. Can't live with that. Let's see. It's just a bit awkward in this situation. Okay, so the M key allows me to straighten up. Let's see here. If we turn it on. They've made it particularly challenging for us. Lift him up. Try not to mow their freshly seeded crop. I'm liking the versatility of this mower though. The fact that it's trailed behind rather than attached directly on makes it a lot easier to maneuver. So I think that's all we'll cut with him. While we've got it going, we might hold you up and go down and mow the other field, which will be very quick. You sit directly behind? Yes, you will. So the M key lines you up. Behind, if you're wondering. We'll do a couple of, at least one headland here. It's very maneuverable, so we can probably just zip backwards and forwards. Up the side. It's a bit steep. Hopefully, if I put you on just a regular worker now, you can navigate this without too much trouble. And we'll duck up to the other one and do the tedding and the windrowing. Should only take a second. It's rather a large header for this narrow strip of field, but we'll go down and back. Can't imagine we need many bales off this to complete the contract. We'll have a look in a minute. They're going to fit down there just to enable me to ted that little bit of grass. Let's see how this goes. Not too bad. But we'll end up with one big pile in the center of the strip. This is quite interesting. I haven't used the Vermeer before, and I think I like the mower, and I don't mind this windrower, albeit it's a bit fiddly here, but that's not the windrower's fault. That's just a wacky field. Grab you. Fold you up, pick up the windrower. Yeah, I think that the absence of crop on that stripe is an invitation to drive down there. Head down to the other field. Hopefully our mower is finished. What I'm thinking makes some sense while we've got this big mower is to go and mow the other field, 33, accept the contract for 34 as well, and then all the mowing is done, and we've only got baling to do, which we can potentially do on the next day. So I think that might be a ticket. We'll be able to cut this. Can't cut that. Fold you up. Yeah, field 33 is just around to our right. This road goes right past it. Here we go. Field 3. Drainage ditch here we've got to be careful of. Yes, so let's just accept you. Because 34 is just through the woodland here, I think. Somewhere. Let's have a look. Can't be far away. Oh, there we go. It just squeezed on the side there. How far up the hill are we allowed to cut? Not far. There's all the poplar that was pre-planted. If we get enthusiastic, we might borrow a poplar baler and attack those fields, turn them into something else. Okay, we can come a little bit further down on this side by the looks. After a wet start, this has turned into not too bad a day. We've got a bunch of chores done. We've got some contracts progressing. Well, we finished 2 contracts, so we're up to the 22,000. We've got some baling contracts progressing. Which we should comfortably be able to finish off next time. They'll generate some grass for our sheep and some spare bales to sell, I guess. So, or grass that we can put in our fermenting silos. So either way, it'll tick the coffers up. There's about 10,000 worth there, so that takes us to the 30. We just need a couple more substantive contracts along with our produce, and should be able to expand and do some some real farming of our own. We'll also, of course, have our potatoes to harvest in due course. But by then it'd be nice to have been able to produce enough silage to buy the production so that we can produce, well, we can add some value to our potatoes, let's put it that way, rather than just sell them as a crop. If you haven't tried this this mower, I recommend you give it a go. It's a bit of fun, and it certainly seems to be eating through these fields. This is not a big fent that we're pulling it with. I haven't quite got the hang of those corners at speed. I probably should slow down and pay a bit more attention. And of course I could put it right behind the tractor. Nope, it goes all the way out the other side too. I should have known it would do that. Okay, so M takes it to the left and K brings it back. So that pretty much wraps up the mowing part of the proceedings. So I'll go and take this back to the shop and drop it off and take the baler up so that we can get a good start on the baling next time. Until then, I hope you've enjoyed it. We are grinding through, and I'm pretty confident we'll kick along in the next couple of episodes when we start to get a bit more cash in. But until then, very much appreciate you watching. Hope you're enjoying it. See you next time.